Upon what immutable characteristic do you hang your desires and worth upon? I know that's not grammatically correct, but let's try on something else for size, something a little frosty. So two narratives diverged in the wood, and I took the road that liberals normally travel, and it has made all the difference. Something along those lines. What we're talking about, of course, is race baiting, because it has to be in everything. And even if it's not race baiting for something that's angry, it's still making it a part of like that's your entire persona. That's your entire identity is the fact that you were born with extra melanin in your skin. It's absolute horseshit. It's absolute stupid. And I understand why they want to put that at the forefront. Now, before we go into this, if you guys like anything you see here on this channel, please hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. We're going to start out with something that this actress has been unfairly drug under the mud after we find out what has come out. Now, this is the Black Little Mermaid. You know, the one that wouldn't even have any melanin when she was living that far underneath the ocean. But, you know, creative choices aside, she is speaking on the Little Mermaid backlash. Variety reframes the comments to attack fans. So this is one of the trades, and this is one of the liberal trades that they got caught earlier in the week with Deadline, like misrepresenting what someone said. I believe it was Hollywood Reporter. It may have been MovieWeb that took Emma Mura's comments and took them out of context when it came to Legend of Zelda. Well, now they're reframing Halle Bailey's comments. She has always seemed like a very sweet girl. She never got into like the drama or anything like that. She never talked down to anybody. She never said, oh, the reason you don't like me is because I'm black. She never did any of that. She's like, I know there's going to be like struggles because it's not something that people are used to. It's not what they're expecting, but hopefully, you know, I had fun. They can have fun with me. That's basically what she's always been doing. 3 years later, after The Little Mermaid completely bombed, she sat down with The Independent to discuss the experience and the support she received behind the scenes from other actresses who have also faced online hostility. Most of the time, they asked for it. Can't say all the time because Halle Bailey didn't really ask for it. She's trying to get a paycheck. She's trying to get her name out there in the ether. You know, respect for that. It's not her fault. How some of these other bitches, though, they fucking asked for it. In her reflection, she comes across as thoughtful and measured. However, when Variety reported on it, they framed the experience in a way that seems at odds with her own words. So let's see exactly what they said. Okay, so Bailey said, it was a beautiful experience for me. This is in quotation. And I feel like it taught me to listen to myself and the good voices inside. I learned how to block out the noise. Very, I won't even say milquetoast, just very metered and level answer. Now, the way that Variety does their yellow journalism is it says the noise came from racist trolls and toxic fans. She never said that. That's what you said. Why? Because you need to push a narrative. But the thing is, you know, she's a young woman. You're pushing all of this drama onto someone who's young and is, you know, just discovering who she is as an actor, much less an adult human being. And shame on you for that. While her casting did raise concerns about fidelity to the beloved animated film, yes, I agree. Ariel should have been white and redhead. And also Squawquafina should have been nowhere near that. Good gracious. I don't even think Halle Bailey's the one that killed that movie. I think it was Squawquafina. It was actually freeing to be in the middle of this conversation where so many different opinions were coming in and they were so opposite from one another. So she's out here learning. She's like AI out here. She's like black AI. She's out here learning from the different opinions and different things, like what works, what doesn't, what can I do better next time, what didn't work this time, what should I sign on to next time, and then like maybe just pass on the next script that comes across whenever it involves these kind of things. Unless she could just put earplugs in her ears and tune it out. That's what Halle Bailey was doing. And good on her for doing that. All right, don't get it twisted. I'm not here like to shit on black people or not even shit on her. Do I disagree with the casting? Absolutely. But she had no sense of vitriol and she did not lash out towards anybody. And it's okay to speak your opinion, whether or not you liked it or not. I personally didn't like the casting. And I didn't like the movie either. I gave it a shot. It was dog shit. But you know what? When it's one of your first times on the big screen, you know, go ahead and give it a try. Now, here's another thing that has to do with race. And this, the reason why I have these two put together is because Halle Bailey is in this new film that they're talking about. Why black creatives feel that a lot is riding on the success of rom-com You, Me, and Tuscany starring Halle Bailey. So here's a little precursor for this. People do have to understand that Hollywood is a reactive industry. Yes, it is, but not nearly reactive enough, or at least the woke stuff would have stopped about 9 fucking years ago. Not really reactive, but maybe they're just taking too many opiates. So they're a little bit sedated still at this point. Half of them have died and half of them, their sons have killed them. Producer Will Packer tells The Hollywood Reporter about the potential impact for the Halle Bailey-led film's box office result. Now, rom-coms haven't really been in the cinemas for a long time. Obviously, you find them on Hallmark Channel. You find them in the indie film festivals. If you go to a film festival, yeah, they're rife with them. They'll go straight to streaming, straight to Netflix, straight to Hulu. They'll do that kind of stuff, but you don't really see them in theaters anymore. However, this one is getting a theatrical release, and it is set to get around 8 to 9 million in its opening weekend. I don't know exactly where they're getting those numbers from. Maybe it's just from like polls that they've done and how interested you are in it, because I also have not seen any advertising for it. No marketing whatsoever. But the director Kat Quaro's movie starring Halle Bailey as a chef. Okay, press X it out right there. The only women who are chefs are grandmas who make everything from scratch in the kitchen. And if you called them a chef, they'd slap you upside the face and then hand you a fresh baked chocolate chip cookie. They do not want to be called chefs. But I digress. That's just a stupid joke. But just the fact that the movie is getting a theatrical release has spurred celebration on social media, with fans of the genre noting that a rom-com with black leads had not hit the big screen since 2012's Think Like a Man. Here's where the problem is. There hasn't been many rom-coms, period. The last ones that have been rated R. We had the gay one with like Billy Eichner or whatever the fuck his name is, while he's over there dealing with his HIV positive AIDS. Then we had Jennifer Lawrence, the first person to ever do a rom-com and show her tits on screen. They weren't really like in the same vein. I guess maybe they were trying to pull back some Judd Apatow stuff from 2004, but it didn't really work that well. Rom-coms have just kind of like fallen out of favor as far as people wanting to spend $16 a ticket to go out to a date when they could just get it straight on streaming. It's more like a Netflix and chill. That way I can finger bang you in the corner, like on the couch while we're watching it. Oh, that was cute. Yeah, sure. Keep watching. I got you going, baby. It's not really a theater going experience. Now, granted, these things can change. They can change. There's always room for improvement. There's always room to like kind of like turn the table, so to speak. This topic, though, is when they talk about black leads. Like, yeah, there have been some good black rom-coms. Sure, there have. There's also been some good white ones. There have been some good Mexicans. There have been some good interracial ones. I realize that they mentioned Brown Sugar down here. That's an interracial one. But here's the real issue with it, is that they have to make it about race. We need more black rom-coms. And if this black rom-com works, that means it's the resurgence of black films. Not necessarily. Just make a good film. I guarantee you, we were doing this study, or basically this poll on a stream the other day. And we were like, do you remember what we grew up with? Just the cartoon shows, Magic School Bus, Street Sharks, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, X-Men, like the stuff that we grew up with. There was fucking diversity everywhere. We didn't give a shit because it was cool and it was engaging and it was just good entertainment. That's all you have to do. Who gives a fuck that I'm fucking red skin, that they're fucking black skin, that the woman that I'm marrying is a fucking peach and she's white as shit. She's like a fucking ghost. Who the fuck cares? Put on a good performance. Give me something that's entertaining. Maybe something that, I don't know, is there possibly something that I can identify with that has nothing to do with an immutable characteristic? Maybe life choices, maybe life experiences, maybe some way that I can say, oh, they treated this adversarial point in some way. And I was like, well, I'm kind of going through something similar. If it turned out right that way, maybe I can open my heart to treat whatever I'm going through in a better way rather than just being selfish all the time. That's what it's really about. That's what it always should have been about. But nope, they got to talk about race in absolutely everything. Fucking hell. Newsflash, asshole. I don't give a shit what your race is. Just don't be Muslim. This is Multi from Mouth of Multi. If you guys have anything you'd like to say, leave it down in the comment section below. And stop worrying about the color of your skin so much. Really. It's tired. It's boring. And it doesn't sell well on the marketplace. Bye.